Hi there, my name is Amanda Poole-Walsh and I'm the founder of Astrology Hub.
And I'm astrologer Stormy Grace.
And we're here together for your weekly forecast for the week beginning on December 30th. Happy New Year, everybody. And Stormy, tell us about the week. What's going on?
Well, we're leaving 2019. That's what's going on, right? Like we are leaving, and it's so funny. In it just happens so seamlessly. In one week, we leave a thing and begin a thing, right? Like it's just, I don't know, the story of life, right? Like the infinity symbol, right? Like we're just always leaving and beginning. So life still goes on, even though we're leaving 2019. But this week, we do have a theme being Jupiter as his body is over in Sagittarius and Sagittarian energies this week, having optimism, having a lot of energetic play in our week, all of these things. But what we have to do is be mindful because with these two energies, they want to be big, they want to be expansive. We have projects, we have certain things we'd like to take on, and we need to go big or go home, but we need to not go crazy. Our theme this week really comes down to moderation.
Whoa, weird. So it's Jupiter Sag energy, but then we need to be moderate.
Yeah,
It feels like a contradiction.
it is.
Okay, so moderate, so basically channeling all that big energy in like grounding it in reality, grounding it in like sensibility and a plan. Would you say that would help?
Yes. And so as we paint the vision of what we're going through this week, you guys think about this. It's the beginning of the year. You've seen your goals, you've got your plans. You're like, yes, I am ready to take this on. And then you take on too much. So then you're not even actually available to show up to it. Or, you know, what happens for me is I'm like, okay, I am going to go keto. And I try and go like full keto. I don't like ease into it, and then I wonder why I got to take a 6 hour nap in the middle of the day, because I just don't have a gradual. I just want to do it all. The last time I did this, I said I'm going to take better care of my skin and hydrate. And then I ended up with like a product line in my bedroom, and my husband's like, what just happened? And how much did this cost? Right. So, like go big or go home, get into the theme, get into the plan, but just don't go crazy.
Oh my God. I love it. That is so funny, Stormy. Perfect examples. Okay, so let's talk about the week ahead.
All right. So this week, as we are getting ready to leave 2019, on Monday, what we've got going on is a Mercury Uranus trine. And I love this as we're getting ready to leave this year and step across into 2020 because it opens our minds. It's new ideas to new groupings, maybe people we didn't run with before, new friends, new connections, new relations and interactions with technology. So it's a very open-minded, exciting kind of energy, which what else could you ask for to take into a whole new decade to build a life with? And as we get ready to leave, for sure, the last day of the year, we end with a delicious sextile between the sun and the moon. And when the planets have sex, that's good for us. So this is an opportunity. This is a signal to us, guys, that you've got to have some strong faith in your future and your plans going forward. And it's also a sign that teamwork makes the dream work. We need to collaborate in this upcoming year so that we have all of the resources we need to be successful.
I can't tell you how happy that makes me, Stormy. We have just recently expanded our A-Team Angel team. So we have a bigger team, and pulling off this 2020 forecast marathon event every year is like a Herculean task. And teamwork is totally necessary. Like there's no way I could do it alone, or even, three of us could do it. It's like massive. So teamwork makes the dream work. I love that. And I mean, is that something like that's thematic throughout the year, or is that just, for this time period?
No, I actually think it's going to be a theme that continues to follow us through the year as we create these new structures in our lives. You know what I mean? And the other thing that I just continue to think about is how Uranus is in Taurus. So we do find value in groupings while also maintaining our own autonomy. But then as we get to the end of 2020 and head towards 2021, and y'all know I'm excited about that, we see Jupiter and Saturn in the energy of Aquarius, which really says we're going to have to do this as a team, y'all. So it's such a, I don't know, I do just think it's a beautiful theme to follow all the way through.
Wonderful. Okay, so let's go into the first day of 2020.
The very first day of 2020, January 1st, we start this year with purpose. We start this year knowing we have a purpose going into 2020. And we do that with 5 different planets in Capricorn, right? We've got the moon over in Pisces. So it's this great place, I think, as we come into 2020, where we have this view of the past, the present, and our future, and they're right at our fingertips. But the key is to use this energy that is quite robust to energize our own reorganization. Let us see what we did in the past that didn't work as well, so that we don't take those mistakes going forward. What did we try over this last year that it was like, yeah, that was really different, but I felt so good about it, so that we can bring those into the year, right? So you've got 5 different planets in the sign that wants you to achieve at your fingertips as we start 2020.
All right. So this is a time to take that inventory on the past year with a particular emphasis on what didn't work, so that we're noting it and we're not repeating the same patterns as we go into 2020. I love that reminder. Like sometimes you need to just look and like, I thought that was going to work and it didn't work. And we did this because of this. It doesn't really matter why we did it. It didn't really work so well. So how do I make sure that I set life up so I don't go down that same path again?
Yeah, absolutely. And one of my teachers that I learned from, and this is years ago, but learning about the Roman gods, talking about how January got its name from Janus, right? Which is a 2-headed god that looked in both directions, right? So this is the gift that's at your fingertips as we come into the year. You've got the vision of your world from the past and where you're at now. It's just awesome.
Oh my God. I absolutely love that. I haven't heard that before. It just completely changed my orientation around January. And I'm very grateful that you brought that up.
Well, anytime we need the Roman God class, you just let me know.
All right. Coming your way, Astrology Hub.
Right. But until then, let's just get to Thursday, where we've got Mercury, Jupiter in a conjunction, and they're in the sign of Capricorn. Now, this is nice. This is expansive communication. We might even actually be a little bit busy. This energy also gets paired with Mars entering into the energy of Sagittarius. So you see, we've got this Jupiter, who is the ruler of Sagittarius. We've got this very expansive energy that rolls in by the time we're at Friday. So you have self-confidence, you have optimism, you're ready to get things done. You're thinking of the big picture, right? But you've got to be cautious not to take on too much that you can never actually be successful. So this is the moderation, right? Like you just started running 2 days ago. You probably don't need to sign up for the marathon, right? Like take it easy, just some moderation then.
Yeah, as we're getting ready, gearing up for the big event that's coming your way, you guys, we use Trello. Like, I don't know if you're familiar with Trello, but it's like a project management tool. And there's these little cards. And we actually have a self-care card where everybody is putting their top self-care tips, because it is a marathon and the whole team runs a marathon. So in order to be able to run a marathon, you have to be well hydrated, well nourished. You have to schedule in downtime where you can actually rest and be ready for it. So I love this idea of really working with the idea of moderation, but within expansion, so yes, we're doing big things. All of you, everybody has their plans and their goals, but remembering to plan in that downtime, to plan in the rejuvenation time, to make sure that you can sustain the energy levels. I don't know if you've noticed this, Stormy, but there's been times recently where I feel like there's so much energy pumping through my body that I'm like, I don't know if I can hold it. It's so much energy. So the only way to hold that amount of energy, and this is for all of us, you guys, there's big energies this year. The way to hold it is to make sure you're doing your practices. Make sure you're doing your meditation. Make sure you're sleeping. Make sure you're drinking enough water. Make sure that you are doing yoga or walking in nature, the things that really help you hold energy in your body.
Yeah, absolutely. Which is nice because I do think that as we roll into this first weekend in January, we get some hints of this. We've got the moon coming into the energy of Taurus and then coming into conjunction with Uranus, right? Now, this is great because it does bring some new and exciting things to the table, some new ideas, some new epiphanies for yourself, especially about nurturing, right? The moon, anything about nurturing and stability and things like that. It's not the most rational thinking. So maybe don't apply everything just on Saturday. Think of some things. Let the ideas kind of flood in and stuff like that. But it is great for new ideas of how to strengthen wealth, right? How do I strengthen my values? How do I strengthen the things that are important to me? Now we pair that with a conjunction to both Jupiter, where we're thinking big, and that Mercury, where we're thinking in the details. And it makes for a weekend that is a great time to seek what brings stability and brings value for your greater good and beyond, right? So make your plan. Look at what you need. Aim big. Go big. But make sure you stay in moderation of what you can actually do. And this is making me think too. Not everybody wants to go start a global corporation this year. If the level of success for you is that you get to have 6 months of not feeling like you have to do life, or like life is just exhausting, and you make the goal to just have a different experience, that's a big deal in your life. So wherever the moderation is needed, scale it to what your project is. It's not about what all of us think success is, or what the goal is, or what value is, right?
I'm really glad you said that because it's so true. And it's whatever is big for you, whatever is like the edge for you, whatever is the vision that you've been incubating. That could be to become a mother. That could be like you recently buying a home. Like there's so many different ways that looks. And yes, you're right. We do get attached to, I'm going to go save the world. It's like, and anything less than that isn't big or isn't important. It's like, no, not so much. Like we all have our unique contribution that we're making at different points in our life, and it all matters. It's all part of the tapestry that weaves together and makes it all work, right? So yeah, that's a really good point. Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah. And the only other thing I want to say to pay attention this week for my people who are workaholics, this is also a very easy energy. I want to say moderation first, because it's also a very easy energy where you achieve success and it's not enough. And that is a great place to create exhaustion. And it is a great place to create delusion for yourself as well. So, somewhere in the human experience, try to find the rational moderation of what you need there as well.
So good. I can't tell you how many things I canned because I thought it wasn't being as successful as I had expected it to be. But looking back, I'm like, whoa, that's pretty amazing that it was able to do what it did, given what I knew at the time. So yes, that's a great reminder as well. All right, Stormie, can we do the summary?
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
Wrapping it up. Okay, so starting with, basically you guys just walk away from this podcast with the word moderation in your mind, moderation. So there's this big optimism, there's, go big or go home, and yet do it in moderation. Okay. Number 2, work in teams, like draw on your resources, show up as a team player. So many times I say to my daughters, let's say we're late getting out the door for school and one of them was ready, 10 minutes ago and she's going, oh, I was ready. It's like, well, maybe you could have said, hey, does anybody need some help? Like, I'm ready, but you're not clearly. So can I help you? Like that would be a good thing to do. All right. So asking for help and also being helpful. And that's part of being in a team, right? And Stormie, I love how you brought in the story about the god Janus, because it's such a great visual of the 2 heads looking back and looking forward. It just gives a whole new perspective on January for me, which I'm super grateful for. So hopefully that's helpful to all of you out there, as we can simultaneously be looking back and learning from the past and looking forward and welcoming in what's to come. And then during the weekend, thinking about things that bring you stability and value. Aim big, but be realistic about what you can do and celebrate the progress that you do make. And, without being attached to some expectation that it's going to be massive and mind blowing. It might be a step in the right direction, and that's awesome too. So.
Absolutely. And I think that that's just important too, because we at Astrology Hub have a lot of content at our fingers, and it's okay for you to not learn it all this year. Enjoy the journey being amongst all of the delicious wealth of information, but take it at your pace.
Absolutely. That's what I say to people all the time, like learning astrology, working with the cycles, working with the seasons, all of it. It is a journey and it is meant to be enjoyed. And you will be amazed. Like when you're approaching it like a journey, you can receive the gifts And then you'll be amazed at like, oh my God, things make sense to me that they didn't make sense before. But there's just this open receptivity that allows that cyclical process of learning, which is very different than our linear, you need to study and cram and learn for the test, kind of mentality. So it's very different. Just sink in, love it. That's a great reminder as well. Stormie, you're just full of great reminders this week. So everybody stick around. We have our Ask segment coming up with Debbie, and Debbie is going through intense Pluto-Venus transits and wants to get some insights on that. So anybody else experiencing intense Pluto transits, stick around and hear what Stormie has to say. And then she's also wondering when she'll see results in her career that are more satisfying. So if that's where you're at in your career right now, you're like, God, I've been putting in the energy, I've been putting in the work. When am I going to feel more satisfied from this? Stick around. We have our Ask segment coming up. And of course, please sign up for the Global Forecast Marathon. It's free. If you can't make all of it, don't worry. Hop in and hop out at your convenience. We're going to be broadcasting about 4 or 5 hours every single day, January 9th through 11th. Details are at astrologyhub.com/2020forecast. Reserve your free spot now. And you also get a workbook that you can use as it's a playbook. The Capricorn wants to name it a workbook, but then my whole team's like, most people don't like to work. So we named it a playbook. Don't worry. And you can download that and have it ready for the event and take notes there. It's going to be amazing, you guys. I can't wait to meet as many of you as possible during that event. Again, it's astrologyhub.com/2020forecast. All right. Stick around. We'll be back in just a sec. You guys, I am so excited. I've been waiting for this for months. It is with pleasure that I officially invite you to our free 5th annual Global 2020 Astrology Forecast Marathon event. Registration is now open. The event is taking place online January 9th through 12th, and it is going to be epic. Just go to astrologyhub.com/2020forecast to reserve your free seat today. We're featuring 12 of your favorite astrologers, including Kai Pacha, Christopher Renstrom, Stormie Grace, Anne Orderly, Gemini Brett, Jennifer Rassiopi, just to name a few. I'll be broadcasting live with these astrological powerhouses for 5 hours per day, walking through every month of the year and making sure you know about key dates, important transits, and how the energies may interact with global situations like the health of our planet and financial and political institutions, and the types of energies you may see playing out in your personal life, in your career, your health, and your relationships. Our previous attendees have called this event an astrological smorgasbord, and they rave about it every year. If you're curious about 2020, what the big shift in energy could mean for our world and your life, and if you're ready to consciously co-create with the cosmic energies, then this is the event for you. Just go to astrologyhub.com/2020forecast and reserve your seat now. And even if you can't join us for the whole live event, tuning in for 20 or 30 minutes whenever you can is going to make a huge difference for you as we embark upon this new decade. We will only send the replay of this event to those who register, so make sure you register so you can have access to the limited time recordings. I am so excited to share this event with you so we can enter into this next decade in style together. Just go to astrologyhub.com/2020forecast and reserve your free spot today. Okay, welcome back, everyone. We are here with Debbie calling in from Adelaide, Australia. Debbie, it's great to have you here today. And what is that burning question on your heart?
Okay, so basically I've had a lot of upheaval this year with work and with my love life. I've currently got Pluto on my Venus, so I don't know if that's got something to do with it, but it's been extremely uncomfortable. And so I'm just looking for some guidance on what's happening with my career. I had a job earlier in this year and I lost that, so I'm currently looking for work. And just in a bit of transition at the moment.
Yeah. Okay, sure. Okay, Pluto, Venus. This is always just such an intense combination, right? And it has certainly been a year of it. And I will tell you that this particular aspect doesn't fully end for you until December of 2020. And I think it's best to just put that out there right away, because when you know that it's be over or how long you have to grow in it, sometimes that gives us a deep breath in and of itself. You know what I'm saying? So in terms of the relationships and the work and the money, just in general, this is intense. This is an overhauling to all of our relationships. This is an overhauling to our money. And what it usually looks like with Pluto being there, because Pluto is this Phoenix energy, and it says, okay, Debbie, I need this area of your life to die off so that I can help it live in a different way, right? It feels like loss, 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 chaos, but then it is greeted with abundance on the other side. Saturn and Pluto are also going to come into a conjunction, as you know, coming up pretty quickly here in January. And it's going to be at 22 degrees of Capricorn. It is going to be on that Venus, right? So when it feels like loss for this next few months, know that what's trying to replace that is an energy of abundance. And it is an abundance that comes into your everyday life, which, knowing that from my practice, also makes me think that this will touch your career as well. But I do want to be clear. I don't think that this energy is easy. It's fascinating. It is entirely intense for sure, right? But ultimately, the relationships and the financial connections that you have in your life that cannot go forward with you for the next 29 years, the universe is pushing out completely. But that feels like loss, and it's your Venus. So what it also feels like is like all these things are changing, and the thing you want the most is affection, right? You want to be had, you want to be held, you want to be secure, right? So to experience that kind of need for companionship in whatever that means for you, while it's all kind of rolling away, is a really interesting place to be. Now, I do think that this also leaves space for a very healthy relation to roll into your world. And I don't think that it takes too terribly long to see that particular relationship start coming around to the stars. Now, we need to get through the rest of this Mercury energy that's happening right now, but let us get a little bit closer to January. And if you are willing, if you are ready to allow something in, you've certainly got some brilliant opportunities that both the Sun, Mercury, and Mars come in and create these energies that it is available to you. And I do not think that this person is the same as you. I think that whomever this person that comes to your table may be a little bit older, but maybe even a different nationality than you. You can kind of look for that energy to blow your way, still in relationships. So we're not quite past that just yet, okay? And it's also going to be, in terms of work, it's going to be these ideas of a lot of independence that's coming to your table. And I think you're just learning to work with that on a pretty intense level. Okay, work-wise, a little bit of a challenge because you still have transiting Neptune rolling through this 10th house, and that makes work and all things that like you do out in the world quite elusive. Not to mention Pluto is still also in a trine to your ascendant. So it's like you're putting yourself out there, and it's like you're being missed, right? Almost like you're not being seen. You're like, you said this job is open. I'm standing here. How do you not see me? It's kind of that kind of vibe and energy. I can tell you, I don't think that that lasts too long. Look about February for changes to start coming. And he's also going to come in conjunction in March to your Venus. Now that seems a long ways away. And I'm not saying you don't work until then, but work that's a little bit more meaningful and that has some more substance to it. I think you can start to look February, March timeframe to have that. You can go pick up something small in the in-between, but I don't think you stay at it.
To be honest, I am lacking a bit of motivation at the moment, and that has been, like, in the past when I've left any work, I've been straight into it, and currently I can't find that drive.
Neptune in the 10th house is such an elusive place because when you're in it and it's good, it's good. It's like, this is lush, this is blissful. You even maybe feel a little bit more creative. And when you're on the other side of it, it's like, what is motivation? Because they don't serve that here. You know what I mean? It's a really kind of a hard energy, but there are other energies that are going to blow in present, making you more visible to the people around you. So we really need to, in terms of, I'm just telling you for the sake of your own patience, right? Get you moved to the January, February timeframe, but then February and March is where we can see work and motivation and, okay, I can do this, kicking in and coming to your table a lot more. And then your opportunities, I don't know if you work in tech or what it is that you do, but these look like more technical opportunities that become available. Not to mention Saturn will also move into Aquarian energy as well. This will help with motivation for you, and it'll also help to secure. So it's coming.
I'm curious to hear her feedback on the relationship stuff, on the love stuff. How did that land for you, and what are you thinking?
Well, when you said about different nationality, so there is There's currently somebody that I'm not really fully involved with. It's a friend, but they're not older, they're younger, which has been very different for me because usually I prefer older people. But yeah, I found that interesting. And
yeah, well, I mean, you've got all of these Saturn energies and all of these big hitter energies that are they're in Capricorn, and in your natal Venus is in Capricorn as well. So there's something about you that likes the security, but there's a lot that's getting ready to happen in Aquarius. Maybe you're being real open-minded, but these are going to have to be some secure youngsters if it's going to work out. And so much about your beliefs about romance and relationships and sex, really specifically sex, are shifting. And you know what? If you just need to have you some sex and everybody's happy and on board, I support that as well. Right? So if that's where it's at for you, if you're reinventing your sexuality, because I love spirituality, but sometimes you just gotta have an orgasm and get your life together. You know what I mean? It really helps you work. It helps you think. It helps the body. It helps the spirit. So if that is what's happening in your life too, Auntie Stormie supports.
You just got the green light, Debbie, on your friend, on your young friend.
Yeah, you got the green light to get some. So I hope that this makes sense, timing-wise, with the things that are coming through. I think that as we get closer, you will work will come. It's going to blow in here. Give it a couple months around the corner here. But I think that work and all of these things become stronger and more settled for you as we get closer to 2021. And it doesn't mean that 2020 is a bust and that there aren't good things and there's not joy and play and all of these other things, but you do still have a heavy focus on your own independence and how to integrate that at the same time with relationships. And it's funny because your career houses are really not helped a lot. So you do need these short-term transits like in February and March that blow through to give you some zhuzh to get anything done.
Can I ask, do you see anything in my chart about like relocation or?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do know about relocation in your chart. I'm so happy that you are asking me. Okay, so not only is this Jupiter-Venus conjunction that's going to be happening, and it's in place for you from March, just about to the end of the year. This could make you want to move, right? It puts you in a position where you're like, yep, I am completely willing to take a position in another place. Not to mention Jupiter is in that trine to your ascending energy as well. You are willing to pack up and move. You are willing to leave your country to have a new experience. So if that is something you are thinking, I'm going to tell you, like I've been telling everybody today, and poor Amanda's probably tired of it, Jupiter is coming into Capricorn next month. Make a plan. Even if you don't have any of the pieces right now, what do you want this next year to look like? Where do you want to go? What's the work you want to be doing? Which youngin is coming along with you? And set a plan so that Jupiter can open those doors for you because they are available.
Are you thinking about moving out of the country?
No, like maybe interstate, but in my chart, I'm all fixed. So I'm in my comfort zone and I'm still scared to move and leave family behind, but I'm just feeling like there's not a lot of opportunities where I currently am. So it was just a thought.
Well, I think that it feels like it's just a thought right now, but it is so interesting. Your high air in your chart as well, that thought will eventually lead all of that fixed energy into a new direction. And as long as you can get going in one direction or the other, then you'll go. It is funny what young partners can convince us to become brave about.
Love it. Debbie, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, and keep us in the loop on how things go.
Yes, I will.
All right, take care.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, so much for tuning into the show, for being a part of our community, and for making astrology a part of your life. We'll catch you on the next episode.
Hi, this is Chris Kaplan, the producer of the Astrology Hub podcast. This episode is over, but check the show notes for links to products and services you've heard about during this episode. And if you enjoyed our show, please subscribe and rate using the subscribe button wherever you listen to your podcasts.